So what's the difference with a JRPG? Well, aside from the fundamentals, okay. So computer role playing games, Western made and developed. Japanese role playing games, obviously made and developed in Japan. Art style, very humanoid on the CRPG side. On your Japanese role playing games side, more anime manga like art style. On your computer role playing game side, the main forte is freedom. The freedom to create your character, the freedom to make decisions, the freedom to choose your own skills, the freedom to evolve and develop your stats, the freedom to acquire or buy your own equipment, okay, and the freedom to go wherever you wish if the narrative says you do so. For the Japanese role playing game side, normally the trope would be you'll be playing a pre-made character already. Okay, sometimes the name's already established. Sometimes you can change the name something else. If you prefer naming that character with your name, you can do so. If you want to name that character dipshit or shithead, you can. All right. With that's the thing with one of the main reasons why, actually, a few things anyway. And I played a few computer role playing games just to prepare for this episode. I tried playing Shadowrun Dragonfall. I tried playing Arcanum, Steamworks Magic Obscura. I tried playing Tyranny. I tried playing Wasteland 3. I tried playing Pathfinder. And the latest one I tried was Pillars of Eternity. And out of all of those experiences, it just like Miss I mentioned, it's not, guys. CRPG, it's not for everyone. Okay, like any other genre out there, eventually you'll find something that's just not giving you that gaming boner, and this genre doesn't give me any gaming boner, not at all. And I'm like, why is this? I mean, out of all of the games that I tried, why is this not registering enough excitement in my brain? And I'm like, so
Let me do a classic Joe reaction.
So and then I thought about it, and I'm like, the main reasons why is because the stuff that I mentioned earlier, the differences. The one of the main reasons why I fell in love with JRPG anyways, because I love anime and manga first before discovering JRPGs anyway. Because before I played wrestling games, I played platform games. It wasn't until when anime hit really big back in the mid 90s, back in the in the Philippines, that when the first time I saw like a game that looks exactly like the ones that I've been watching in the television, I tried that, and ever since then, I never looked back. So the difference now would be it's the art style mostly. Okay, and one of the things that I noticed with all of the games that I mentioned, and all of the games that you guys mentioned earlier, the character sprites are so small, and I'm going to channel my Zoolander face here. What is this? Is this game for ants?
Yeah, fine. Okay.
How can we allow players to play this if the character sprites are so small? And I don't want to hear any excuses, okay? The characters should be at least 3 times bigger than this. Okay? I'm like, most of the time I'm looking at the screen, okay? And they're just like almost an inch tall, like all of the sprites. And I'm like, okay, because I'm looking at the screen, it's like it's all about background. I mean, because everything else is bigger, right? I mean, by comparison, the foreground, the environment, that's all that you can see. I mean, if you're not even paying attention to your sprites, I mean, I'm basically looking at everything else, because everything else is taking way too much space and way too much attention away from your character sprite. And I'm like, okay, sure, fine. Let's talk about the script and the dialogue. So unless the game is designed to zoom in and zoom out, okay, I'm reading like font size 8 or font size 10. And I'm like, so I really need to look far closer over to the screen so I can read what the hell are they talking about. And I'm like, oh fuck this, ain't nobody got time to read all this shit. So and guys, I'm a manga reader. Okay, I'm a fan fiction reader. I'm a visual novel reader as well. I can read. Okay, I can surmise. I can appreciate a good plot story. Okay, but for some reason, I don't know. I mean, reading all of that dialogue, blah 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 blah. I don't know. It's not really it's not really sticking in my head. Everything's just bouncing off. Gameplay wise, okay. Gameplay wise, the ones that I played, let's just say, okay, Pillars of Eternity, right? One of the things that I enjoyed about that game is that it's their combat mechanic. It's like pause and play kind of thing, where if you encounter an enemy, the game will just pause for a second so that you can strategize what action each character will do, and then you resume the game, and then each of your characters will take action. The closest game that I know that is exactly like that would be Star Ocean 1, the first departure, and Star Ocean 2, the second evolution, or Star Ocean 2.
Sir Joe, let me interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 was absolutely a huge influence, which has the same mechanic. It's real time.
Same mechanic.
Yeah, it's very much. It's probably even more so than the game you mentioned. There's that because of Western history side, right? Western CRPG. But I just want to mention that. That's one of the reasons I love Pillars, is because it's like Baldur's Gate.
Yeah,
it does have the classic feel of a tabletop RPG. You know, all right, like the same way that we did our D&D session with Eric. All right, these guys show up in front of you. What do you want to do? That is the moment where you pause the game and everybody decides their actions, and that is present in Pillars of Eternity, Baldur's Gate, the Black Isle games, Planescape Torment. Yeah, that's also there too.
Yeah. So like I mentioned, the only JRPGs that kind of resembles that kind of mechanic would be the Star Ocean. Well, the first two games anyway, and I'm into Sir Dan's dismay because he really doesn't like me cheating all the time. And I'm like, it's very grindy. And I'm like, because I don't really have the time and patience to do this anymore. Like,
and
usually
JRPGs are not grindy. Come on, you're yanking my chain now.
No. Before, when I was younger, yes, I can grind it, yes, but
Final Fantasy.
Ain't nobody got time to grind anymore. Okay, so usually I just turn on a Game Shark and I'll just turn on whatever cheats that I want, just so I can pass through the game, so I can just breeze through the game, know the story as we go along, so I can finish this as much as possible.
Joe has not heard of this thing called mods yet. Okay, anyway.
No. With Pillars of Eternity, once you I'm not sure, maybe it's the difficulty setting that I made. Whenever you clear out a dungeon, said monsters don't respawn. So and I'm the type of guy who would like to over level my characters so that I don't feel that much difficulty when fighting some boss characters or whatever. Here, because dungeons don't respawn their monsters, like whatever level I'm at, that's it really. So, and as much as I like grinding, I can't really do it here with Pillars of Eternity for some reason. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just a difficulty the difficulty setting that I chose. I chose normal. Okay, I'm not such a spaz to choose easy, but I don't know. Maybe.
Hey.
So.
So as a note too, with games like that and Pillars, because it's sandboxy, the way that you would level up is you just try and explore everywhere, do all the quests. That's their version of grind. So you can, but you just, because if you just go from the story to beginning to end, you're going to be at a certain level. But if you do everything, if you go everywhere, you're definitely going to be a good 20-25% higher level.
Yes, agreed. Because of the fact that the JRPG mechanic of killing everything in the room, stepping out and coming back in, and everything respawns, that doesn't happen in Western RPGs. You go into an area, kill everything, you step out, you come back, his corpse is still there. So that's
the corpses are still there.
Yeah.
and above all else, and I can tolerate all of that. Sure.
Here we go.
At least give me one thing or two things to keep me glued into the screen. All of the games that I tried, things that I like in there, the things that I keep on seeing on every JRPG that I have played, throughout these years, the games that I played for the computer role playing game side, nothing ain't giving me shit, ain't jack shit in here. Okay, where's the tits and ass? Where? I mean,
Jose called it exactly on the YouTube chat. Sergio needs more TNA in the
where?
CRPG. Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while, I'll be fighting some knights, lady squires, lady mages, and then you can rob them of their equipment. But the guys, once you rob the guys, they're just on their like their white underwear, like shorts underwear. See, for the girls, I don't know. I mean, you kind of see some curves in there, but they're very well positioned that you don't that they are not sexually objectified. And I'm like, the fuck this. It
You,
even in
you need to
death.
play Baldur's
Right?
Gate 3. You need to play Baldur's
Yeah.
Gate 3.
I'm
That
like,
is the most nude
I
game
mean,
ever.
even in death, they refuse me. They, you know what?
Goodness.
So
But
well,
and
anyway,
Joe's opinion is perfectly valid. Not everybody will take to every single game genre, and that's perfectly fine. Everybody
yeah.
has a particular preference, and we've recommended it to him. To his credit, he gave it the good old college try, and we respect that for him. He gave it a try.
And,
He didn't like it.
and And like I mentioned, they're so small, like 1 inch small. I mean, even if there's any tits and ass in there, I cannot really make it out like that. Even if I have to put my eyes so close to the screen, I'm like, where's the nips? Ain't
I
no nips in here.
because of the fact that Joe went for the mainstream CRPGs, there's a lot
Mm.
of what you're looking for in the seedier sides of Steam. So we'll recommend other things to you, Joe. But right now, that is a very
And,
valid point. Okay.
and I do
Eric,
want to mention one point about the size of the characters, right? Is that that's very much a design element because if you look at a lot of the JRPGs, they're either the kind of side view, Chrono Trigger, Final
Mhm.
Fantasy, kind of like take your turns, go back and forth. It doesn't really matter where anybody is on the screen, maybe front and back row, or you're playing a character, and so you don't have a bunch around you. But when you're playing the other games, you have area of effect. You have enemies coming on the screen from the left, and you want to know they're there, right? Imagine playing a platformer game where it's super zoomed in, and you're everything's a leap of faith, right? And so it's a function of the tactics that a lot of the Western RPGs employ, which is different than the Japanese RPG. And I will say, I also love Japanese RPG. So I understand all your points, and then you just shift the mindset and expectations of what kind of game you want to play. But yeah, I just want to mention that that's a design element. It wasn't like the designers were like, yeah, let's make all of our characters super tiny and crap. Like it's a part of the design.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because with JRPGs, like you mentioned earlier, because with CRPGs there are more freedom here. Because in JRPGs you're playing on the narrative that the story abides you with. Like it can be linear or non-linear at the same time. It will offer you some side quests here and there. I mean, well, the earlier JRPGs they don't really do that. It's pretty linear, like from point A to point B to point C to point D, right? I mean, you start off as a young lad on a very small town doing odd jobs here and there, and then boom, for a few hours you'll be fighting I don't know, the homicidal, genocidal megalomaniac who wants to destroy the world. Then eventually, oh no, it's not the final boss. Apparently, it's God.
Mhm.
Something like that.
Well, yeah, with Western RPGs, it's a little bit less. What's the right word for it, Eric? A little bit less grandiose, shall we say?
Yeah.
You begin as an assistant pig keeper, and at the very end of it, you fight the final boss, who turns out to be the primary pig keeper. I don't know. Anyway, Eric, what
Yeah.
would you say?
Yeah. I would think, yeah, again, as a fan of JRPG as well, is that there's a different expectations. So think of like Shiny Fort, right? Which, you wouldn't call the sprites particularly small. But what they did was instead of saying, well, we're going to make it look realistic, instead they say everyone's facing you and they're kind of square and they're going like this, right? And so that's way different than like a Western RPG, which is trying to kind of be realistic, which is why it tends to be isometric isometric, which is why it tends to be farther out, so you can see the tactical elements. So it's just the style of games. It's like, yeah, if you like JRPG style, and of course, obviously, I know all you guys are into anime and stuff. That makes sense. That's why you love that. But the Western is just a different approach. And Baldur's Gate 3 has been super popular. So it's really a matter of really what you're into, not really what's good or bad.
Yeah, I'd say Joe should try Baldur's Gate 3 because I heard you can, fuck a bear there. Anyway. All right.
I'm not really that much of a perv. Okay, I mean, I can deal without the tits and ass, but
All right.
still.
So all the lies.
No, 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 the other complaints I made. Okay, if the same complaints are still there, then chances are, I don't know.
Fine. It is a valid take, and we absolutely respect your take on it, no matter how wrong it is. But anyway, I'm kidding. No. It's a perfectly valid take. Give it a try. It's not for you. That's cool. That's perfectly fine as well. And that's the essence of Timeless Gamers Show.